Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we'll talk about how Android's 33 or maybe we can also call it Android 13's uh, change on how back press is handled uh, and how you should be integrating that change into your apps. So with gesture based navigation in which we sometimes don't want to just press back, we maybe just want to not just press back out of that particular application. We want to use some sort of a gesture onto that particular slider or something. That's why they have come up with this solution, and it will also have like a predictive back handling, but we'll not be going into that because that's just a simple change in your manifest file. So we'll roughly talk about how backpress should be handled into your apps when targeting Android 33 and later. So in this video we'll just have a single compose view in which we'll have some sort of a column, and this column will have two elements. One will be a text which will hold a count value, and initially this count will be 0, so that can be pressed in, and so I'll just create my another variable, state variable basically. Well, count click equals to by remember, and I'll remember a mutable state of 0. So I'll have to mutable state of 0. And when we talk about this state inheriting mechanism, what happens is that whenever there is a change into this state, it will automatically rebuild my or recompose my composable. So my text will be recomposed as soon as there is a change in count click. So I'll have a button on its click. I'll have a text which says click me, and we increase the count value. Count click dot value is equals to count click dot value plus 1. So let's just run and see like how does it look. It will be very basic button and a text. Count click dot, let's just rename it to count click dot value, because value is the one which exactly holds the integer value that we are passing in. Dot value, and rerun it. You can see that there is a count click and 0000. Now in apps like many apps, whenever you press back, they don't want you to exit the app as soon as you press back. They show a toast and double press to double click to go back or exit the app, or maybe show some sort of a card or some sort of a dialogue that do you really want to exit the app. So I'll be basing out my analysis or my that backpress mechanism based upon this counts value. So what I want to do is, because we are into this earlier, we used to have this on backpressed, and we can just simply use another variable, let's say where count equals to 0, and if count equals to 0, then just show a toast and say make text and pass in the activities context, that is from require context, but okay, it will not come with that. We will just pass this here. We'll pass cannot go back. So let's say that if count is not equals to 0, we cannot go back to, or we cannot finish this current activity, or we cannot go out of the app, and its length would be dot show. So like that's how we used to do, and like if it's not, we should not be calling this super.onBackPress, because it will automatically call, and else we can just call super.onBackPress. So let's run it and see what it does for us. So it's 0, so if it is 0, and if I try to go back, it will go out of the app, but it should not have. Okay, so count equals to 0, that's why it came out of the app. So let's increase the count, and let me just also add this. On this click, I'll also increase the count value. So I am having another variable because we just can access these, remember, and mutable state of inside. We cannot just have it because it requires to be happen in a composable function, and set content gives us that scope, which is we can call in other composables from it. So I'll just have another variable. That's why I have another variable which will have count plus 1. You can have count plus equals to 1. Sorry. Now if I run it again, so if I click and if I try to go back, it will not allow me to go back. That's how we used to do it earlier when we had onBackPressed. But now if I go and go to my Gradle file and target Android SDK33, which is the recent change, now I'll see that my onBackPressed is being deprecated. Now by deprecation, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work or it will not work, but later in future Google might just remove it all the way down, and you will have to change a lot of things. It's very smart thing to adapt changes as soon as they are introduced into the system. So let's just remove this count variable from here. Let's remove this onBackPressed here as well, and let's just introduce one more thing here, which is onBackPressCallback. So it's like a new system where backpresses are dispatched via onBackPressDispatcher. And we will implement its handle on backpress. So this is how I will also move it to constructor invocation. Now this is the one where we should be checking in our, and it is enabled by default. Let's say it's enabled by default. So enabled is like whether this callback is enabled or not. If this callback is enabled, only then it will listen to that onBackPress changes. If it is not enabled, then it will not listen to any of these backpress events. Now assuming that we still want to check the count click value, count click dot value dot not equals to 0. Then we can just show a toast which make sense to, as we were doing earlier. This at the rate main activity will show cannot go back, will show toast dot length dot long dot show, else we can just finish the activity. So whenever the count is not equals to 0, we cannot just go back from the activity. And now we have to register this callback. To register this callback in onCreate, because we will be in this particular scope. So what I want to do is onBackPressDispatcher dot add callback. In this callback, I'll add onBackPressCallback. So this callback will be added to my dispatcher. Now, as soon as I press back, what I also want to do is, if it is not 0, it's not 0, that's why it's coming into here. But I also want to change. I also want to decrease the count to minus equals to 1, so that we are, as soon as we try to go back, we also are reducing the count clicks value. So onBackPress will have now two effects. First, it will try to go back out of the activity. If it is not 0, then it will also decrement the count and show a toast. And again, whenever you try to go back, then it will allow you to finish out of the activity if it's 0. So let's run it and see. So can I go back? Yes, you can go back, because it's equal to 0. Now let's say that I increase the count to 7. Now I cannot go back. Okay, sorry. I should have count click dot value -1. I should not be just assigning it, or it doesn't work in that way, because we have to decrement the current value. And now let's rerun it. Now if I go press back, 4 3 2 1, and now finally 0. Now I'll be moved out of the app. So this is how backpress callbacks are handled when you target Android SDK 33. And this will be all for this video. See you in the other one.